There's a totally different way we qualify self-employed borrowers versus wage earners that are employees that have less than 20% ownership in a company. So self-employed borrowers, they can be different types of entities. They can have a subchapter S corporation, they can be an LLC, they could be a sole proprietorship. All of those are going to fall under a classification of self-employed borrower. How we calculate that income versus how we calculate somebody that is an employee is where the trouble comes in. So generally for self-employed borrowers, we need 2 years of self-employed history, 2 years of filed business and personal tax returns, and depending on what type of entity you are, is going to determine which documents we're looking for income. So if you're subchapter S, say you're a sole subchapter S, you own the company, you're going to receive income usually in 2 ways. Through a W-2 if you pay yourself a wage, and through a K-1, which is going to be the ordinary income of the corporation. So how we're going to calculate that, we're going to take 2 years of the ordinary income and 2 years of the W-2 income, and we're going to average it over 24 months. And that is going to be your income. So what we see a lot of times is maybe someone had a down year in 2013, and then in 2014 they had a very profitable year, and now they're looking for a home. Well, their assumption is we're going to use the higher number for qualification. That's not the case. We're actually going to average that 2-year period. So that's kind of something that people need to know and that we address right up front when we deal with self-employed borrower. Another thing we look at is year over year. How is the company doing year over year? We want to see the same or an increase. So a lot of times you'll look at a self-employed borrower and they might have a decrease year over year. It might be minimal, it might be 5%, it might be 10%. Well, that's going to be a problem. When we look at, the underwriter has to document that the business is healthy, and whenever we see a decline, it gets very complicated on trying to document the health of the business. So we have a special program or a special way to qualify those people, that we can only use 1 year of business tax returns and personal tax returns if they have excellent credit, excellent assets, everything else looks okay. So that's just kind of something we would address on a case-by-case basis when we deal with that person. Sole proprietorships, they're not going to have a business tax return per se, but they'll file their income on Schedule C, profit and loss. It's the same thing. We're going to take 2 years of whatever the profit, hopefully from that business was, and we're going to average that over a 2-year period, and that's going to be the income. Some things that we can add back in are depreciation. So if your business is a trucking business and you own a truck, you probably depreciate the truck, and that's a non-cash expense that we can actually add back to your income. So those are just all the details of how self-employed borrowers are different than employees or wage earners, and how you really need to deal with someone that has expertise.